It's not like I woke up one day and was like, hey, I'm going to get in an abusive relationship, you know, like that's what I want to do today. Like, I don't choose that, you know. There's something in me, you know, where my confidence, you know, is so low that I accept that as love. Why can't you just get out of your violent relationship? Why don't you just leave? Look, like speaking from experience of being in, you know, DV relationships, abusive relationships, it's just not that easy.
And I think that answer will be different for every person you ask. You know, why don't you just leave? Where are you going?
Yeah.
You know, like I know women that get turned away from refuges time and time and time again. You know, there are some refuges where you can't have kids. There are some refuges where you can only have kids. But there's simply not enough refuges. And
then what? Where from there? You know, like what is a refugee gonna do?
What do you do after the refuge?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That fear of change, you know, when something's the same for so long, you get used to it. And then stepping out of that is scary.
The other thing I know is that when you're leaving a violent situation, it's often the most dangerous time.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the trauma and abuse that breaks you down. You don't have confidence, you don't believe in yourself. Where are you going to go when you've got nothing?
Yeah.
And what we know from this one project, the 100 Families Project, is that like nearly 80% of people have been involved in some form of domestic violence, whether it's as a witness, or a perpetrator, or a victim. So,
like you can't look at that and think, oh, you know, that's nothing. Like that is huge, you know.
And if there are kids involved, then how does that play out too?
You know, are you putting them in more danger? You know, and like we were speaking about before, you know, for me, like I'd do anything for my child, you know, and the safety and their well-being over my own, always, you know.
If you feel isolated, why don't you reach out to your community for support?
Same thing. I don't think that is that easy, you know. When you feel isolated, when I'm isolated, you know, I'm not isolated for no reason. And same thing, like reaching out can be more scary than being isolated. Sometimes the dark, cold isolation that is, you know, your home or wherever you may be is safer than reaching out and being rejected by someone or reaching out to a service and them not being able to help you. You know, you're asking for help right now. What if they can't help you right now? Like the fear of that is huge.
And how vulnerable do you feel like when you're going through something?
Absolutely.
Last thing I want to do is like, hi, my name's, you know, this is what I just want to go. Actually, there's an element of shame. There's an element of protection.
Definitely.
There's an element of, and the other thing is if you're living in entrenched poverty and you don't have phone credit, or you know you have been turned down by 3 services in the last week, like you're saying, what does that do to your willingness to reach out? Or what if services have picked you up and they haven't been the right services?
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, not every service is a great service. That's my experience.
100%. I think like even, you know, asking for help with food, you know, like can be so scary. And yes, sometimes, you know, someone may be able to help you, but it's shameful. You know, people look at you differently, like, why can't you afford food? Do you know what I mean? Oh, like, so you're not feeding your child. You know, like you instantly get that stigma and that judgment, whether it's a service who are there to help you or not. Like it's instant, you know, that judgment. And that makes it harder.
Yeah. And I think we're also the worst judges of ourselves. So quite often no one's going to like me. I'm not going to fit in. I'm not going to get my needs met. So what's the point? You know, there's a whole, again, it's one of those questions, 1,000 different reasons.
Exactly. Thanks so much for listening in. I hope you take away some knowledge from this today. If you want to hear more from us, Find us on 100familieswa.org.au. Thanks so much.